Oh. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Vasudev Vasutam Devam Kamsachanunamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We are seeing chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, this chapter on Jnana Vijnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge and wisdom. So Bhagavan said that there are two types of prakritis, the lower prakriti and the higher prakriti. And the higher one, Arjuna, Bhagavan says, Yayedam dharyate jagat. The higher prakriti in us, it is not like the two prakritis are in seventh heaven or somewhere else. They're right here. Both of them are right here. And when Bhagavan says that Yayedam dharyate jagat, that this Arjuna, the higher one, is what upholds the multitudes of names and forms and the duality which is experienced. Bhagavan says, Etadyonini bhutani sarvanityupadharayan aham kritsnasya jagataha prabhava pralayam tatha. That Bhagavan says that this entire world is etadyonini bhutani sarvani sarvani tyupadharaya. Know that both of these are the womb of all beings. Aham kritsnasya jagataha prabhava pralayas tatha. I, kritsnasya, the entire world of plurality, and this entire world of plurality, jagataha, the world, prabhava, all of the multitudes of worlds which are emerging out, the emergence of the creation, the source of manifestation, pralayastata, as well as the annihilation, the destruction of it. All of this is nothing but in me, is where we left off. And then the seventh shloka, Mattav parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya Mai sarvamidam protam sutre maniganaiva. So just like this, and this necklace, all the beads are seen in this necklace. But what is not seen is behind each one of these beads, there is a thread which holds all of them together. So Bhagavan is saying, Mai sarvamidam protam, all of this entire pluralistic world of duality, of plurality, Bhagavan is saying that it is woven into me, sutre maniganaiva, just like the sutra holds the money, pearls or beads, something like that. Matta parataram nakinchidasti dhananjaya. Other than me, nothing else exists. Matta parataram na anyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. This statement is, you can underline it and you can say that this statement is nothing but vijnana. This alone is wisdom. Jnanam, Bhagavan presented as Bhumirapo nalo vayu khammano buddhirevacha ahankaritiyam me bhinna prakriti ashtadha. This entire world of eightfold forms of manifestation, eightfold section, you may call it, of the entire world, the five great elements, grosser to the subtlemost, bhumi, apaha, analaha, vayu, and kham. So kham, space, bhumi, earth, from gross to subtle. And then Bhagavan continues and says, mana buddhi ahankar, in the subtlety, mind, subtler than the five elements, buddhi, subtler than the mind, and the ego is subtler than the buddhi because it claims the ownership over everything. So the subtlemost in the eightfold prakriti is the ahankar, and all this, Bhagavan says, the mixture of the five elements, created elemental world, and the jiva and the jagat, all this, Bhagavan is saying that this is all me. Bhinna prakriti ashtadha, the ashtadha prakriti, that is jnanam. But what is vijnanam? Vijnanam is knowing that all this is Bhagavan. Other than me, there is nothing greater than Bhagavan. Now Bhagavan is going to prove that top sentence of the 7th shloka, and that is what Bhagavan is trying to prove over here. Dirgha tantushu patavat. Shankaracharya ji in his Bhashya uses this statement. Dirgha tantushu, a long thread. Patavat. Patavat, like a cloth. A cloth is nothing. Before a cloth becomes a cloth, it is all wound up on a spool, a giant spool. And then it is zigzagged and woven back and forth, and a tapestry of cloth comes out. And it is nothing but a thread. Thread woven, put together, is nothing but a fabric. This is the example that Shankaracharya ji gives in his Bhashya for Sutre Maniganaiva. If that doesn't make sense, that fabric example makes a better sense. Some people may just say, oh, but I don't see all the beads and whatnot. But it is an example, a kalpana is done by Bhagavan. So even the example of thread and cloth, that is also an example. It has to be translated into the understanding that whatever exists in this world is Bhagavan, is Bhagavan, is Bhagavan. It is nothing but Bhagavan. Now we will see shloka 8 onwards. We see what Bhagavan is presenting over here. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayoho pranava sarva vedeshu shabdakhe paurusham nrushu. So Bhagavan is saying in this particular shloka, what Bhagavan is saying is rasaha aham apsu. Apsu, water. I have this bottle of water over here. This water, Bhagavan says, I am the sapidity in the water. The ability of the H2O to do what it does. The ability to wet, sapidity. When we open in chemistry, the CRC handbook of chemistry and physics about various elements and compounds, there is a chemistry of this water. What is its boiling point? What is its melting point? What are its characteristics? Even for water, when does water turn into poison? Even that is mentioned over there. We can drown ourselves in the water. The body is 80% water. That's what pneumonia is. The person, poor thing, drowns in water. Where is the water? In the lungs. So that same water which has sustained the jiva becomes the source of even death. So Bhagavan is what he's saying, I am the sapidity in water. Because this is Vijnan, we have to participate in this universe. Knowing is not enough. There has to be transformation. When we see a flow of river, there has to be a great amount of love and admiration of the flow of water. Bas. And we have to learn to see Bhagavan in this water. Many people go to Haridwar and Kashi and put things in it out of devotion and bhakti for Gangaji, but we destroy Gangaji. If every person goes in there and throws a diya, what can the poor river do? So bhakti is when we are transformed. Wisdom is when knowledge transforms us. When Bhagavan says over here, rasaha aham apsu, I am the sapidity. I am the very quality in water. Just putting hands in Gangaji and just removing water in the hand, and just bowing down to this water as Vishwanath. His temple sits on the banks of this river. He's known as Jambukeshwar in one particular place as the water linga. The understanding should be there. While shaving, how much water are we going to allow to just go into sewer lines? That understanding should transform. How much water am I wasting? Because we should see Bhagavan in it. The Vedic rishis, they lived such a divine life. We call it green life. They were green. Today we have all these fancy words, which is going back to Vijnana Yoga. Bas. When we are not there in the room, we switch the lights off. We're saving some fossil fuel. This transformation in living is what Bhagavan is now taking as Vijnana. When Bhagavan makes that statement, Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti, other than me, nothing is. Then if I know water is Narayana, why am I ill-treating water? Why would I even want to kick a bottle of water? See, it is a transformation. We never kick a book with foot. At least in Hinduism, we don't. It's not just book. Once this understanding comes, I was in PRC with Guruji so many years ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And somebody had done the laundry and they had just put things together. All the clothes were ironed, folded, whatnot, but socks. You know how some people, they take the two socks together and then the side which has elastic, they roll up over there. And Guruji looked at it and he looked at me and said, "Ye kisne kiya? ये बेचारे मोजे हमारी पैर की रक्षा करते हैं और एक को बिगाड़ देते हैं और दूसरे को ठीक रखते हैं." And I just thought, you know, how much he thinks. But it is not thinking, it is just living. He doesn't make any effort to think about that sock. His life is living in the now. And the minute we learn to live in the now, we notice everything. How are we walking? How are we putting things? Everything. It adds up because everything is Narayana. The sock is a Narayana. Not just Venkatachalapati standing on top of Tirumala. No, he's everywhere. That's what this Kurumandramillai. Oh, you're sitting over there. What is the worry for me? You are everything. Why do I even worry? I have no worries. This is called wisdom. Everything adds to our being. Prabhasmi Shashi Suryayoho. I am the light in Shashi, in Chandra Bhagavan, and Surya Yoho and Surya Bhagavan. Chandra Bhagavan and Surya Bhagavan, I am the light. Today is Amavasya. Yesterday I woke up little late, and especially during Krishna Paksh, early in the morning hours, few days before Amavasya, you can see a beautiful Chandrakala. And I just rush out there, early morning hours, and I just in the eastern horizon, the moon is rising. Now, Shukla Paksh is starting from 4 p.m. 5 p.m. onwards today. And day after tomorrow, we see in the Western hemisphere, after the sunset, we will see beautiful Chandrakala. And I look at it and I admire the beauty of the moon god. And I look at that moon and I remember, na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam, tam eva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Oh, Bhagavan shines, and because of that, everything else shines. And what I'm seeing when I see the moonlight is actually the reflected light of the sun. So I'm seeing both the sun and the moon when I'm looking at the moon. Just few minutes we recognize during Shukla Paksh and Krishna Paksh the moon god. And every day, sunrise, sunset, we remember the sun god. It brings us into the rhythm of creation. We must acknowledge the movement of the universe. Bhagavan says, I'm the light, Prabha. Ahamasmi, I am the light in this moon and the sun. Pranava sarva vedeshu. And I am the Pranava. Ma, Om. Sarva Vedeshu, in all Vedas, I am this 3-syllable Om. All Vedas are reduced into Gayatri. Gayatri is reduced into Vyahruti of Bhu, Bhuva, and Suvaha. And even the Bhu, Bhuva, Suvaha is reduced into Om. And that's Bhagavan is saying, in all books of learning, Veda meaning Sarva Vedeshu, in all books of learning, to know, with, to know. In all books of learning, I am the entire alphabet which produces all types of sounds, which gives meaning to the words. The letters put together form words. Words put together form sentences. And sentences put together forms a story. And the story implies some type of knowledge, wisdom. Pranava sarva vedeshu. Shabda K in the space, I'm the sound. I have the wind chime outside my home, and on a breezy day, you can hear the sound. I especially take time to notice that sound, and I remember this shloka. No, Bhagavan says, I am the sound in space. I'm inside the home. The chime is outside the home. Yet through the barrier of the wall, the sound has made it inside to my ears. And I think to myself, what is the dexterity of Bhagavan Krishna to leave that chime and certain frequency penetrate through the wall, the door, the glass, and enter into my ears. I often wonder, what is the power of Krishna to come to my ears as sound? Even when I'm speaking, the words are going through Zoom and recreated on your side from your own audio output. What a wonder of Bhagavan Krishna. Shabda ke paurusham nrushu. Nrushu in men, paurusham, I am. The virility is what Gurudev writes, the strength in men. Basically, what is meant by paurusham nrushu in men, the ability in us to march forward in each generation. I come from a generation where I started out looking at the telephone, which was rotodial. And if there were certain number of nines and zeros, you got a workout with the first finger. And I look at today's generation and they have no idea what a rotodial phone is. They are born with Siri. They don't even have to dial anything. Hey Siri, call Ashok Mama. There.
Calling Gita Patel, ICE.
See,
Mobile.
She already did that. You don't even have to exercise your fingers. A command of a voice, like a genie in a box, she will do all your work. Paurusham in men, the ability to go forward. This is a testimony of what this generation has created. The strength of the muscle power of mind. Our homes have become comfortable. If only if Henry Ford were alive today and he saw Tesla, what would he say? I wonder what kind of conversation Henry Ford would have with Elon Musk. Amazing. Mind-boggling. So each generation has a strength to go forward. And God knows what today's children are going to do tomorrow. And that ability, R&D, in all aspects, chemistry, physics, biology, oh, name the field, engineering, medicine, oh, ho, ho, ho. Everywhere, finance. પૈસા ભેગા કરવામાં કેટલી આવડત જોઈએ તો પણ શું લોકો કરે છે. આહાહા. Even finance. The art of within a year, 1 motel to 2 motels, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. We put bacteria to shame. Paurusham Nrushu. When we look at what goes around, it's a wonder of wonder. What happens? So, you know, when it is said Paurusham, please don't think only men, huh? Men and women both are included over here. In human being, Paurusham, the ability to leap forward, the virility, the strength, you know, the ability to navigate times. This is wonder of wonders. So this shloka itself, how much Bhagavan has presented. Yet Bhagavan thinks that people are not going to get it. He continues. Next shloka, Bhagavan says, Punyo gandhav pruthivyam cha tejas chasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Bhagavan says, Pruthivyam punyo gandha. I am the divine fragrance in earth. Every time I go to my garden, I have a nice garden over here with jasmines and various flowers. And oftentimes during watering, I chant my mantra and I just wonder how this earth and water, two elements, transforms itself next day into the various types of malli, each one of them with unique fragrance. And I think of this shloka, Punyo Gandha Prithivya. Once in a while, some fertilizer of manure is given and the plant converts this water and earth into some fragrance inexplicable. And we give manure, what odor it has and what fragrance the malli has in the morning. This is what we should be doing when we are in garden. We should remember Bhagavan. Each one of these flowers. And thus I am in so much awareness as I pluck the flowers that I should not mutilate it. The whole malli has to be plucked. Even inadvertently, we should not break a petal, because Bhagavan himself is saying, I am the divine fragrance born out of it. It is live Narayana. A garland is offered. In that fragrance is the dwelling place of Bhagavan. The beautiful hibiscus, the color, the petals, whichever flower speaks to us, it is an expression of Bhagavan. Thus, during Archana, it pains me when I have to take a whole flower apart and, offer the petals one by one by one. Might as well just hold that one flower at the end, put one full flower in the water. It's alive, it's alive, it's alive. So what Vijnana does is it transforms us. At least it should transform us. That is why Bhagavan has placed this. Tejaha cha aham asmi vibhavaso. Vibhavaso, bha, shine. Vibha, the extreme brilliance. Vibhavaso, in the fire. Tejaha, the very light of the fire. The ability for the fire to do what it does. tomorrow morning onwards, 9 days, Navaratri, we start the day with, a little fire ritual in invoking the grace of Ganapati Bhagavan as Ganesha Homam. And every time I light fire, I think of this shloka. And oh, Bhagavan himself. Fire, the divine courier, Bhagavan himself says, I am the Vibhavaso Aham Tejaha Asmi. I am the very divine fire, brilliance of light. I am the light. I am the light. This transformation, Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. Sarva Bhuteshu, in all living beings, Jivanam. I am none other than the very principle of life. I live in Texas, and this part has a lot of critters. And I put these little sticky pads, and the scorpions, they are moving about at night time, and they come to this sticky pad, and poor thing, it gets trapped in it. And every time I see this scorpion in it, I understand this line, Sarva Bhuteshu Aham Jivan. That poor scorpion, it is, living to its nature, it just bites. But what to do? Ishvara has given it the ability to bite. And its bite also has poison. And it can actually send somebody to an ER. Luckily, I am not allergic to its poison, but when it bites, it is uncomfortable. So I pick it up, and how many times am I going to throw it? We have all types of pest control we do, but it is resilient. And I look at that pad. This morning, 4 are caught. I just chant Triambakam Yajamahe, that may this jiva be liberated. I understand, Bhagavan, you alone are appearing in this form, but what to do? I try to live as much life of ahimsa, thus even making sure as little milk products and all those things based upon just the thought of, how much do we injure the world of beings? But what to do? So that awareness should be there. An understanding that I am looking, no matter how minuscule the life form. Even when idli batter is made, after grinding it, introduce a little bit of some yogurt as a culture and mix it all up, and you leave it for rising. And the next day, as I'm scooping, I'm thinking that Ishvara himself has fermented. He has come over here in the form of bacteria. Without that, the fermentation would not be there. So I make sure I scrape all of this batter into this. I don't want to waste a little bit and throw it away, thinking, Bhagavan over here has arrived. Why unnecessarily waste this batter and throw it away? So this type of understanding has to be brought into practice. Only then we will truly understand Jnana Vijnana. So Vijnana becomes meditation as we are living moment to moment life. And the previous chapter is exclusively meditating at a given period in time. So sixth chapter is setting aside some time to meditate, and seventh chapter is a continuous meditation after the sixth chapter meditation is over. In our entire waking hours, meditation goes on, is the seventh chapter. This is what Bhagavan means. Jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Tapas, I am the austerity, tapasvishu, in the one who is austere. Now, I'm usually, because of health issues and all those things, I haven't been fasting. But this year I told myself, you know what? If the Prime Minister of India, with so much work, can fast for 9 days, if I find an excuse for health, it is still inappropriate. I should fast. So I said, okay, 9 days, I'm taking a sankalpa. Devi, I'm only going to eat this. And the ability in us to stay with the sankalpa is called tapas. That's all. So many sankalpas people make. These bodybuilders, oh my God, they wake up at 4 o'clock and they go to gym and they lift so much weight. And they drink these protein shakes. You think they are good in taste? Are terrible in taste. But for the sake of flexing some muscle and looking good on some TikTok, 20 seconds of TikTok, you want to look good. And what is the tapas? This disgusting protein juice you have to drink. You have to wake up in Brahma Muhurtam time, but instead of Brahma Vichar, it is muscle Vichar. So you have to throw some iron up in the air. What a colossal tapas. The sannyasi flexes, or the bhakta flexes the muscle of man for Ishvara. And the bodybuilder flexes the muscle of Panchamahabhut, the sharir. That's all. They both have tapas. Sitting for 1 hour over here, listening to Swamiji's class, that's tapas. So Bhagavan says, tapaschasmi tapasvishu. In the tapasvis, in all the people who accept the austerity and go through life with whatever sankalpas that they have made. Who is the strength behind it? Other than Bhagavan, who can be there? So very beautifully, Bhagavan over here is saying, continuing shloka number 10, this Bhagavan in shloka number 10, Bijam mam sarva bhutanam Viddhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham. So Bhagavan is saying, Bijam ham sarva bhutanam. Hey Partha, Bhagavan is saying, hey Partha, Arjuna, Mam sarva bhutanam vidhi bi sanatana bijam ahamasmi. Bhagavan is saying that you understand sarva bhutanam, of all living beings. Bhagavan says, hey Parth, vidhi, you come to know sanatanam, eternal, bijam, I am, Mam, it is my seed in all beings. I am the eternal being. I am the primordial seed. I am that seed which is eternal. Usually what happens is the seed dies and sprout comes. The sprout dies and the tree comes. And the tree, in the process of living, it produces flowers. The flower dies, the fruit comes. The fruit dies and the seed remains. And the winter comes and the whole plant dies and the seed is sprinkled. I see this every time in spring over here in Texas. During springtime, we have beautiful blooms of something known as blue bonnets. It's absolute wonder of nature to be witnessed. Just carpets of blue flowers. It is so beautiful in this Texas hill country. And it is the most short-lived flower. A week, perhaps a week and a half, at the most 2 weeks. And right after it blooms in the spring, in no time you will see the pods. And in no time the heat of Texas comes and it dries and kills the plants. And the pods are just left and they are just dispersed. And as the heat increases, the pod literally bursts and the seeds are sprinkled. And the cycle continues. We have to wait until the following March to see the spectacle of nature all over again. And the seed remains in this earth for good 11 months. And I think of this, Bija Mam Sarva Bhutana. But over there, the whole cycle, the seed itself transforms and it just dies to produce more. For Bhagavan, it is not like that. Is the eternal seed, which is the substratum of the universe. Each one of us are such unique beings. Yet, this seed of the light of awareness, Aham Sanatanamasmi. That is what the word Sanatan means. He's eternal, never changing. The Prakriti changes. This is Dikshitar ji has written a very beautiful Kruti on Chidambaresha, Ananda Natana, and Chitsabhesham. You know, he his sabha is Chit. Chit Sabha. He presides over the whole Sabha as pure awareness. But Ananda Natana he has to do. He has to dance. And yet he's beyond the dance as pure awareness. Whenever I listen to that Kriti of Dikshitarji, mentally I'm just admiring the dance of Shiva. He's the seed where there is no dance. It is pure joy. And yet, what dance he has to do, both as Pralaya Tandav and Ananda Tandav. But he's Chitsabhesham. Ahaha. And as Chid, there is no dance. In that Chidambaram, Chideva Ambara Yasya. It's the cloth of pure awareness. There's no movement in it. And yet, the deity who presides over that is a deity of movement. And movement happens in time and space. Without the element of time and a locus, no dance can happen. But pure awareness is all pervading, yet dance is trapped in the prism of time and space. What a unique concept. Yet it is pure Advaitam, if you think about it. Pure awareness. That is, I am the Bijam, Sanatana, yet I am the seed which never goes through any change. This is the glory of Bhagavan. What a divine buddhihi buddhimatam asmi. I am the buddhi, the intellect, in the intelligent one. There is a beautiful story in the life of Adi Shankaracharya ji. He's on his Digvijay Yatra. He comes across Mandan Mishra and he engages in this dialogue. And Ubhaya Bharati, she is to be the judge. And on one side, it is her husband. And on the other side is Shankaracharya ji. And yet Shankaracharya ji picked her because he knew she's not ordinary. She's an avatar of Goddess Saraswati. And she makes this garland. And she puts it on Shankaracharya ji, she puts it on her husband. And she says, whoever garland wilts, that person loses. And that person has to become the disciple of the other. And her husband loses. And her husband now has to give up Karmakand and become the disciple of Shankaracharya ji. And he becomes Sureshwaracharya. And the debate is over. So Shankaracharya ji gets up, is getting ready to leave. Sureshwaracharya ji gets up, he's getting ready to leave. And she stops. She said, yes, my husband lost, now he's your disciple. But what about me? How can you leave me over here and walk out with my husband? Shankaracharya ji says, oh mother, you follow us. And today, I bow down at your feet. that you marry the buddhi of all my disciples. And whenever any one of my disciples wears this ochre robe, rest assured, your name will become their last names. They will become Bharati, they will become Saraswati. The Dashanami Sannyasi Marg, it will be named after you. She becomes the presiding deity of Sringeri. Buddhim buddhimatam asmi. You look at any of the acharyas of Sringeri or for any one of these four pithas, and you look at their knowledge, their wisdom. Sakshat Brahmavidya has wedded them. This, the ability, each one of the unique sannyasis, Gurudev, Gita Yajna Pracharakaya Namaha, Angla Bhasha Viduttamaya Namaha. Today I'm speaking in English because of Gurudev. Who will speak on Shastra in English? A Tamram community came after Gurudev when he started speaking. It took him to Mahaperyava and he just put his danda in front of Gurudev and said, continue your work. Buddhi buddhimatas. I remember I got Diksha and I came and Guruji came to drop me off in LA. And Guruji said, you know, oh, you are new brahmachari now. I came after Gurudev. I was not good in English. A Maharashtrian family with, Marathi background and Hindi background. But I never tried to copy Gurudev. Whatever Bhagavan gave me, I abided in it. And Gurudev appreciated it. My first Bhagavat Saptah Ramayana, Gurudev would sit and he has blessed me. So now you are coming over here, you don't copy anyone. You be your own person. Vidya will come in her own ways. And that is so true. Look at this. Buddhim buddhimatam asmi. I am. Each one is so unique. You look at Gurudev's pravachans, Guruji's pravachan, my pravachan, anybody else's. It is the ability of Vidya to manifest through a medium in various equipment. And in each equipment, we see the expression of intelligence in such a unique way. Buddhihi buddhimatam asmi. A glory of intelligence. Tejaha tejasvinamaham. I am, Bhagavan says, the light in, I'm the splendid light, the splendor in the splendid one. Over here, Tejaha, I'm the prowess in Tejasvinam, in all types of people who possess various types of powers. I'm the divine power behind all expressions. So this is, when we look at the world, we are reminded how Paramatma itself expresses in such beautiful grandeur, such beautiful grandeur. We will continue next week. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.